Addiction is an incredibly difficult topic, and I think one that some people really don't understand. So, as somebody that has over 6 years clean from meth, heroin, and pills, I want to do a quick talk. Isn't it enough for people to be in active addiction? Isn't that basically enough self-infliction to say and have compassion for somebody, regardless of the things that they do due to the addiction, which some people have done very horrible things. I have had people done horrible things to me while they were in active addiction, and I did horrible things to myself while in active addiction. There's this message that a lot of NA and AA places want to give out to people who are trying to get sober or people who are sober. And that message is once an addict, always an addict. Now, I'm here to say I cannot go along with that rhetoric. You are not always going to be an addict. It's almost like saying once an a-hole, always an a-hole. Now, we know throughout life and tribulations, learning, growth, that people over time change. Change is inevitable. And where somebody might have been not a nice person at one point, it could take 10 years, 15 years down the road where they eventually are humble and are a better person, and they are no longer an a-hole. So let's just throw that one out there. But I am not the person that I was over 6 years ago. I am not the person that I was in active addiction. That person has dissipated and disappeared. I do not have the urge to use. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I saw somebody while I was visiting some people. I saw somebody that I know who is in active addiction. And when I looked in their car, I saw that there was foil with black streaks on it. And I was just like, why would you have that there? Like, I haven't seen that in 6 years. But you know what felt great? I had absolutely no rush or need to even want to use that. And that's what I'm trying to say is you are not going to always be an addict. If you are watching this and you are in active addiction, I want you to know that when you do get sober, because you will, that one day you will look at yourself in the mirror and you won't believe how far you have came. The person that you have gotten to know. And I want to say for anybody who has been in active addiction, I highly suggest going and getting mentally evaluated and going and seeing a counselor. Because many people who have been in addiction, they unfortunately have done things to themselves and to other people that are extremely traumatic. And that's what keeps it so difficult to stay in active addiction, is the trauma from what happened before the addiction or while in the addiction or both. The psychology behind addiction oftentimes is trauma. And there's also the physical addiction, the coming down stages, but that's temporary. My people, that's temporary. It took me about, and this might be hard to hear, but I was willing to do it. I was willing to say, I will no longer be that person, and I will no longer do this to myself. So it took about 2 years for me to feel right mentally. And even still, recently, I have struggled with flashbacks. It's there, but it's about having those tools to help you to stay sober. So with the war on drugs, we have $1 trillion industry where politicians, government officials that are psychopaths, jails, prison, rehabs, and much more are making trillions of dollars off of people being in active addiction. Why are we putting people that are users in jail to punish them when we know the majority get back out and to start using again? There should be better methods out there, much better methods. I love all this talk about nonprofit programs, and there are some, but there's not enough. Horse therapy, animal therapy, getting the proper therapy. Being able to get away from the place that might be traumatic for you to be around because there's so much bad memories. I don't think that they want the solution. It's almost like cancer. They don't want to put the cure out there because it's $1 trillion industry. Why would these companies and these big industries want to find something or make it known for people or make it better for people to get healthier when they make trillions off of you being an addict, you being, I'm sorry to say this, but if you have cancer, they make so much money off of that. They make money off of you being sick. We don't live in a world where they really genuinely care about the people. And to all of these billionaire philanthropists like Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, Jeff Bezos, it's bullcrap. If philanthropy was actually working, then all the trillions that have been donated would have solved so many problems so far. But it's not about that. So, the message here today is a lot, but bundled in one, you are not always going to be an addict. When you get sober and you find your new self, and you find out who you are, after triumphing and being the warrior that you are inside and getting through something that is incredibly difficult, you will know you are no longer an addict, honey. You are a new, reborn, reinvented person. And you will be very proud of the person that you see in the mirror. Trust me. And you got this. Where other people might not believe in you, I do. Because nobody thought that I would be here today. And nobody thought that I would get out of it, but I did. So you can too.